Hi everyone, and welcome back to my platform here in the month of October of 2025. Right, very again powerful energies. We had the super moon, and then just yesterday there was the 1010 portal, and it's getting tight. It's getting really I would say even strict with energies, with frequency vibration, huge big bifurcation of consciousness, or trifurcation even in my case. Because bringing the cosmic energies here, the guardian material, right? Bringing the cosmic order back online. I mean, being the compassionate observer here, the witness, and being the column of light shining bright, and here also representing the sacred space and the healing container for my soul group, right, who ended up in those black ops. That requires a tremendous amount of self-mastery. Okay, here we already came here actually self-realized, yogis, right, have a connection to rishi stages of the Himalayan mountains. And because we're dealing with negative aliens, their agenda, my soul group executing the Nazism 4.0, right, in Hydra. Also I represent the bloodline, right, was the elite, the Mossad, the Zionists. Okay, so also with the kind of Nazi background, a Nazi Neuralink, and they have extremely highly advanced AI. Some of that AI doesn't even come from this universe. We talk about the Visa system, right, with the Black Dragon map. We talk about the Chimera group with the CCP Japs. We have the Archons, Arachnoids, right, and the Orion group. Okay, those extremely vicious negative alien races, even stationed on the moon, Mars, of course, but Saturn, right, one of those rings on Saturn that was connected to Orion, that was the Orion constellation, that was also hijacked. But now, because of now the cosmic ascension happening, and the new timelines are forming. Actually, we're holding the highest possibility, highest timeline for ascension, right? So that also requires a lots of work, inner work, transformational work, right? Lots of meditation and so on, right? So we have to really be way up there to override the structure of those native aliens with their AI, high advanced technology. They whether from Atlantis, even Lemuria, right, in Antarctica, and off-world colonies, right, the whole planetary corporation. So that requires lots of inner strength. Like I said, lots of healing, lots of focusing, determination here to fulfill the divine plan on earth, right? With Rishi agreement here. And because I was shown, we're going back to God, we're going back to cosmos, no deter. And of course, here we're the ground crew. We're part of the Ashtar galactic domain, connection to Andromeda. That's the Aurora races. They are hosting this ascension. So this is cosmic, galactic, interstellar here. And of course, it includes everybody, right? Helping humanity with their healing, with their ascension, with this whole re-education needs to happen. And project here, for me, my case, the project, right? The Crystal Star project from Andromeda for DARPA, right? From the Ashtar Galactic Command here. That's actually the original form you can find on Essential Glossary. Actually, energetic synthesis, HIEROS, GAMOS from Lisa Renee, right? So we have the Ashram for Marines. Okay, so here's the building the momentum, the platform for my soul group to rehabilitate their DNA, their consciousness, their hologram. Rehabilitate from all this SRA, satanic ritual abuse, right? The blood covenant, all this soul binding, the black mass, the elite parties, the CCP jabs with the Chimera effect, HIV sequences, recover from that MK Ultra, mind control, from torture, from sex magic, all this black magic hooked to Baphomet network, right? And hooked to the Nephilim reversal grid with all these addictions and all kinds of negative entities, possessions, right? And they were kind of ruled or owned by DARPA or the Alpha Draconis, like I said, the Orion group, the Chimera group, right? Where they were turned into digital avatars, dark avatars, right? Not even having connection to God, to source, because the AI, right, of those negative aliens, totally, it bypasses the heart. Actually, the Marines then became the source, the batteries for those negative aliens. And of course, here it looks like the Marines are, executing. Of course, they are involved in horrible crimes, in terroristic organization and so on. But energetically, through my own experiences, right, we are dealing with cybernetics, with genetic manipulation, alien hybridization, with robotics, with skeletonics. It's just like extremely advanced AI, right? So that doesn't even belong to this universe, and they were reversing our monadic spin. So this is what happened to me, right? So I had total pollution, right? This is also with these kind of CCP jets, or like also humanity experience. So this is your monadic self, your galactic self, right? So this all became running the Metatronic reversals via the AI frequency, okay, red wave frequency hooked to the black cube and so on. And so this is your galactic self, right? So they're opening you to these psychic abilities. I mean, we're indigo warriors. We already, we came here with 6 or 7 strands being activated, right? With telepathy and bifurcate, teleportation, all this stuff. So but for some of the Marines or highly deviant souls and so on, this is done through a trauma-based mind control. And then of course they're running all these reversals. They are hooked to the Batman network, the black magic grid. They are hooked to the AI of those native aliens, and all these abilities are used for destructive purposes, right? For destruction and destruction of the angelic divine luminous race of the planet, so the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, right? Destruction of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and so on. And so it's called self-killing, right? The killing box and so on. So I had to heal the entire structure, right? So again, this through another hyperspace hologram. So this is how advanced the technology is, and some of us really, we have to come from extremely high dimensions to override the structure of those negative aliens, right? So that they are in 10D, 11D, that's your solo logos, okay? So this is very complex, but I'm trying to do it step by step. And of course, the Marines, my cell group, they were in those all kinds of projects, right? Going to Moon, Mars, and so on, or being in Hydra, Octopus, and so on, right? So they also were disconnected from their first sphere, from first chakra, right? So they were disconnecting them from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and of course, it's all fear-based consciousness. So we are resurrecting the entire 12-tree grid via the Ruby Sun DNA, right? The golden the golden Chris Templar, that's the Christic Spiral, Chris Crystallar architecture based 12 mathematics, 144 harmonics, because we've been here inverted, right? Based 10 mathematics, the Archon 3D AI structure running reversal. So this is how complex that is, right? And also last time we talked about the exiotonal alignments. Here we are doing everything to rebuild and correct our light body, right? All these meridians, all these vertical lines, also talking about the Shushumna, right? How those guys were severed from kind of inner connection to God, to source. Also damage of DNA, right? Damage of bioneurology, and of course the Kundalini was running reversals via sodomy, right? And they ended up then in this reversal matrix. And of course we talk about how the microscopic orbit is being totally reversed, right? So all these reversals happening and so on, then all this then sex addiction, and like I said, running reversals and executing the agenda of those negative aliens, with AI infection and so on, and entity possession. So if you understand the energy field, right? I mean, that's what I've noticed, right? What in the world, what is happening? And, I saw all this kind of black box around them fracturing, a long time ago, hooked to the black box programming. How come they're still physically being sustained in some kind of, draconian body because of all kinds of drugs, all kinds of AI, all these, cybernetics, skeletonics, right? Their DNA is kind of being enhanced, the whole super soldier thing going on. But here I have to stay here. We have to bring the divine energies of Holy Mother and Divine Mother here online. I'm on a mother line lineages, the Sophia lineages, which is total something that is those negative aliens, they can't stand, right? They just fear so much, because we are establishing the energy here of the cosmic mother. It means their blood, what is it, the satanic ritual abuses, I mean, all this torturing children for adrenochrome harvesting, this all, right, it needs to stop, is being stopped. They cannot continue that. It is pretty much the end of their so-called rulership, right? The false king of tyranny and the whole Baphomet network, the Black Madonna, right? And all these, reversals, and all these black mattresses, or red mattresses, red rooms, right? The whole sodomy. To me, it just they don't even know how to channel their sexual energies, right? That's what it is, all these sex addictions, and what they're doing to children, because children, right, their energy field, their chakras, I mean, this is like of pure light. It's like a diamond energy. Yeah, we do have diamond sun DNA, and they're damaging us, right? So it's interesting how those negative aliens operate. Like they want to be so disconnected from God, from source, right? They're masquerading like they're the gods, while they're stealing and the energy from Kundalini, from our chakras, energy vortexes, right? They're damaging our DNA. They want our diamond sun DNA, and then just putting all kinds of artificial AI intelligence, into artificial DNA, and hooking us to the Internet of all things for the one world order, right? For the new world order, but we are bringing the emerald order here online, okay? So guys, like, this is cosmic, this is galactic, this is extremely complex, and today we'll talk about the sound, how the sound is so important, because that's the first, let me see, that's the first cause of creation is sound. So sometimes, I understand, like, the words are very important, but for me, the sound behind the words to me is the most important things, because you can read so many things. And like here we recommend, right, the sound bath healing for the Marines, right, and listening to solfeggio tones like 432 hertz and so on. And we have the Pleiadian healing technology, including the Tachyon technology, right, the healing chambers, okay, how that actually will help my soul group of veterans. I mean, just talking generally, help them to get back into their heart, into their center, and start slowly and surely healing, going through, their trauma, right? The PTSD time to heal, they have to heal from the trauma-based mind control. And of course, very important, the deprogramming, rewiring the subconscious mind, and feeling again their sexual energies, feeling the flow, feeling the prana, the chi, how that is important, right? The Kundalini rising, the goddess energy here, how that important it is, because this whole black magic, the black, the death cult, the blood covenant, and so on, was desecration of the divine feminine, desecration of the sound, right? And the Anunnaki, Anunnaki, the Nazi, right, and the Draconian Empire, they know all these things. They know about the esoterica, the esoteric teachings, the mystics of the Himalayan mountains, right? And like even last time we mentioned Ishtak Bentov, right? He had all the scientific proof about the consciousness, mechanics of consciousness, right? Mechanics of consciousness, all the science, what happens when you go deep into meditation, really describing the Kundalini, right? What happens, the energy flow, how that important it is, right? Just to kind of circulate it, and we're connected to cosmos, to universal energies, and here the magnetosphere here around the earth, right? When you meditate, when you dive deep within, the brain transmits all these signals. But here we've been stuck, right? The kind of the prison planet with all these frequency fences via CERN, HARP, their satellites, right? The false magnetism on the moon, and then 5G, 6G, 7G, Wi-Fi, all these computers, right? How everything, all these electricity, the energy, and how that's been weaponized and used against us. At the same time, how the cabal, the deep state, how they actually they still draw energy from our heart. So, because love is love, God is, love conquers all, and God is God, right? We cannot separate ourselves from our creators, you know, from our creator, you know, Father, Mother, God, you know, from all that is, the beloved mighty I am presence, right? So that's why activating the etheric DNA is so important, with the diamond sun DNA or golden sun DNA and so on, right? Because yeah, we are going back to cosmos, and we are going to the back to the golden sun, because these all military operations that I am kind of talking about, right? This is the that's the Black Sun, Nazi, Reptilian, and Draconian, and Gestalt, the Vandal groups, right? Of these negative aliens, okay? And it's all about enslavement, right? Enslaving the human race. But it's been all documented and witnessed, right? All these hidden enslavement and their operations, their psyops, black ops, right? Like even me introducing yoga, Ayurveda to military, to veterans, right? Helping them with their rehabilitation, with their healing. And you know, I had all this backlash, and then turning me into I look like a marine, right? Through all these kind of astral surgeries via these grays or tall grays and other aliens. Zeta also, I'm dealing with Zetas, and they're looking less technology and so on. And so they were doing horrible experimentation upon the human race, and we need to, that's why we need to understand that. That's why I teach about it. It's how important it is for my soul group and for the ashram, that we are building the platform for them, right? So it's the Semper Fidelis Spiritus Sanctus, right? To exit the Mafia Diablo, to exit the black magic grid, right? The Batman network, right? And all these false pretense, all this Saturnian, you know, what is it, the Saturnian phantom matrix, virtual reality. So they have to reconnect with their true divine essence, right? Via either chanting or, you know, understanding the power of the spoken word, right? And even Italian, the Latin language, right? Somehow they are using the Latin. So Semper Fidelis Spiritus Sanctus, CHRISTOS, SOPHIA, Maria Magdalena, FATIMA, ROSA, MYSTICA. And of course, I've been chanting, doing also lots of prayers and so on, during especially the super full moon, right? That was, whether it's in Aries, right? And so on. So there was Ave Maria, Rosa Mystica, Ora pro nobis, and gracia, right? Gratias. How important it is to be thankful and grateful and so on, and how to live in grace. We're implementing the Galactic Codex, right? And we are bringing the Emerald Order here back online, and via the Sophianic Melchizedek female lineages, okay? And so this is how we can heal, right? Heal also our sexuality, heal our divine self, heal our masculine energies. Those guys need to heal their masculine energies to be really who they truly are, via loving themselves unconditionally, the forgiveness, right? The compassion, witness, how that important it is, right? So we talk also the invocation of the violet flame, right? And you know, how to also surrender to everything, to God, to source, let go, let God. And you know, freeing yourself from MK Ultra, right? That's the Kundalini rising the other way, getting your microcosmic orbit back online, okay? Not with that was the dry going down, right? The masculine energy, the red rooms, the red trident, the black cube technology, this whole SRA and so on. You know, like I said, the inhalation, right? So this is going back the spine, this is the masculine energy, and on exhalation, this is your feminine energies, and they need to start circulating their energy properly. And also we talk about the chakras, how important it is to activate your chakras, bija, via the bija mantras. Very important spectrum of frequencies, sacred geometry, and so on. The negative aliens, they understand this whole thing here, right? But they like I said, they reverse it, they weaponize it, computerize it, and reverse it, okay? And it's all about sodomy, black magic, the Batman network, right? And putting us in extremely low frequency vibration, where they're enslaving us, torturing us, and drawing energy from our, you know, from our Kundalini, from our chakras, energy centers, right? So that's the downward spiral. So we need to you know, bring everything right side up and resurrect our energy field, our light body, resurrecting our chakras, right? We talk about the bija mantras, the lam, bam, ram, yam, hum, right? How that important is to also understand this. Each chakra has connection to your also endocrine system, to your gland, very important glands, okay? And that way you start also healing your organs, okay? Your blood, and activating your silicate DNA, okay, your crystalline DNA, instead of being stuck in that 666 seal, right? That's the carbon-based DNA, and this whole Jehovah kind of Anunnaki, the curse of Yahweh, right? That's the fallen tree of life, right? That's their Kabbalah running reversals. It has nothing to do with true pure Hebrew lineages that all has been desecrated and hijacked and weaponized and put into reversals. And you know, they were keeping us here in their satanic pyramid, right, where everything is upside down, everything is reversed, and we were like the batteries for their black magic grid, for the Baphomet network, right? The 3D AI Archon matrix. So it's all going to divine justice, right? Justice will be served, but we have to educate ourselves. We have to know what really is now is transpiring, what is happening, right? What happened to the human race, and also why the star seeds are here, 3 waves of ascension, the whole kind of super soldier project, right? And especially I do deal with the dark side of it, how that was all abused and misused, and how you know, that's why they created those dark avatars, and how it creates psychopathy, you know, just totally the fracturing of the soul, compartmentalization of the mind, you know, dissociative disorders, addictions, right? How in the world, right? Well, if you know, read the energy, and if you understand you know, the energy behind it, and if you understand the mechanics of consciousness, and now if you understand also the ascension mechanics, right? We bring everything back online, the proper spin, the you know, the right wave, right? Then again, facing north, because actually we were all actually facing south, not even knowing that you know, we were living here in duality, negatively polarized, okay? And so today I wanted to talk about the sound field, how that it's important, and because this is what they fear the most. So we're anchoring the divine energy of Holy Mother here on this planet, because that way we're stopping the cycle of the transhumanism, genderism, all this genocide, all this massacre, eugenics, right? All these really horrible experimentations, you know, all these abductions and so on. And so you know, they need to rehabilitate, or they, you know, they need to stop, you know, the dark cabal, and they, you know, they need huge, big also healing, like rehabilitation, re-education, and so on. And here we have a project, right? Project for DARPA, and this is the Ashram for Marines. And here using also lots of Sanskrit, right? So we are going from unconscious to conscious, from darkness back to light, from the kind of mortal structure, this limited structure, right? Running the base and mathematics, the fallen tree of life, right? The false flower, or like I said, the flower of death, okay? We're going back to eternity, into immortality, right? And via more morals, following morals, ethics, virtues, walking with God, with Christ, and devotion, dedication to Holy Mother, Divine Mother, because all the negative aliens, they want an extension of their lives, right? Through feeding off of our chakras and copying our DNA, or stealing our DNA, and so on. So this all needs to stop. So it's yeah, everything's going to, you know, the Andromeda, they're hosting this ascension. We are bringing the Galactic Codex here, right? The Ashtar Galactic Command. And here also we have to embody the Cosmic Sovereign Law. We are bringing the Emerald Order here, because this is how advanced the AI is. And of course, if you, you know, talk about the Alpha Draconis, how advanced their technology is. So this is extremely futuristic, but ancient at the same time. And, you know, everything happens here and now in this present moment. Focusing on our breath, diving deep within, right? Loving ourselves, connecting with our heart, you know, and just letting go, letting God, going back to basics. Again, being simple and humble, okay? And and trusting how important it is also trust the divine. And you know, the education is very important, education and having the knowledge of the rishi sages of the Himalayan mountains. So we are bringing this here on this plane of existence, and this is how, you know, we are healing ourselves, you know, healing the tribe, also the Essene tribe, and healing what is the Hebrew tribe, right, and the Celtic Druid lineages as well, because they suffered a lot, especially in the military, this whole weaponization and from that psychotronic weapons. We are also dealing with silent sound weapons, so it's very hidden. So those, you know, only who has the eyes to see and, you know, ears to hear, and, you know, who are highly advanced, you know, we notice these things. And like I said, everything is on Ascension Glossary, Lisa Renee. You can read all these things if you're a highly advanced soul empath. And of course, last time we talked about how important it is to do the 12D shielding, right? 12D shielding, we are the that's the what's the Sophianic 6-pointed star, right? That's nothing to do with the Mossad, the Jewish, I mean, the unfortunately the proxy wars with the proxy Israel. We are going to back to the original divine blueprint of our DNA of platonic solids. Okay, so we need to maybe open ourselves more to these kind of energies and to that sacred geometry, right? We even talk about the new golden Christ Templar, right? With the Trinity structure. Okay, so that's the base 12 mathematics, right? 144 harmonics. So this is all being pretty much, you know, as set in extremely high dimensions from the cosmic crystal solar rishis, and we are bringing it here, right? It's sprinkling down here, so we can start healing, transforming the old energies, right? We can find peace within, and we can reconnect with our soul family, with our star family, and live in peace, harmony, unity, Christos Sophia consciousness. Okay, so, and of course this is a project for DARPA. You can find my website yanakalai.com, and then you know, also, you know, project or the ashram for Marines. So, and you know, what else? The return to rightful owner, sacred vow, healing sexuality, right? Yoga meditation for Marines, the Ayurveda lifestyle, Ayurveda diet, Ayurveda cuisine, and Yana yoga, right? Yana, which means path, and also that's the those are the female solar rishis, right? Those are Resha here, cosmic from coming from the cosmic places, first God wall of creation. So, and you know, working with the sound, how that importance 432 hertz, because the Nazis, right, the Nazi occultism, they understand the esoterica, but they reverse everything because they want to rule the entire, you know, galaxy, the entire solar system. They want to enslave humanity, and then they're masquerading like they're gods. I don't even understand that, because you know, this just leads to soul destruction and self-denial, because God is within all of us. And he, you know, I guess through those negative aliens, they're giving them the black heart, and they're giving them the black goo, and you know, they do have more like cybernetic, like a superpowers, but it's you know, it's going to extinction. That's why they need to do the blood sacrifice, soul binding, and torturing children, because unfortunately, you know, the elite or the power elite and so on, they compromise their DNA. Those are the fallen angelics, you know, the fallen Elohim, right? They need to go back to their original structure, whether of seraphim, of Elohim, right? The creators, we're creating with the divine, you know, under the law of one. So very interesting dynamics. But here, the first cause of creation, we talk about, you know, there is sound, actually. Okay, and so the organic structure of the time matrix and its energetic systems are first built upon the divine living sound fields of the eternal God source, which is held within the Trinity principle and is considered to be the mother aspect within the energy matrix of all creation. God source first expresses itself as an eternal field of sound current, that's the mother principle, in which the living consciousness expression then emerges into density through emanations of light. That's the father principle. We talk about the divine masculine merging with the divine feminine, right? So you have the light and the sound here, right, merging together. Namaste within our heart, so then the inner child can be reborn. Okay, so this is nothing way out there. I mean, this is the ancient teachings, and you were just, you know, working with our electromagnetic field. We're dealing also with morphogenetic field, which is the anti-particle chakras. Okay, and so here to become whole and complete, and humanity was designed, you know, as well, cosmic beings, you know, with the universal library in their DNA, with 5-star humans, actually potential of 12 strands of DNA, having direct connection to God, to source. Within the structure of creation, God consciousness expresses itself through an eternal sound field and light current in which to down step 1 unified consciousness expression into many unique experiences of individuation through multiple stations of identity, right? We talk about your ego, personality identity, your soul identity, your monadic identity, that's your oversoul, and your avatar self identity, in order to gain knowledge to the reality of manifested existence, right? What kind of then reality are we manifesting? Are we going forward or backwards? Are we manifesting through our heart, through our soul signature, energy signature, right? Some of us, right? We also, here we are diving into the morphogenetic field, right? Where we also bring our avatar self here back online, right? Because somebody here has to be, you know, ascended in order to override the matrix of the archons, right? And be the column of light shining bright, and, you know, helping humanity, or I'm helping with my soul with their so-called either partial ascension, with their rehabilitation, right? To really feel their true divine essence, who they are, so they can co-create with the divine, and like I said, live in peace, harmony, unity, Christos, Sophia consciousness, because, you know, we are creators, right? We are co-creators with the divine. So the first individual expression of God consciousness in our universe is referred to as the cosmic monad or monadic wave. The cosmic monad exists as the first cause of sound that further generates a resonating tone principle for the theme of our entire universal time matrix, the first primal sound tone in the blue flame, which exists from within the body of God consciousness. So also we talk about the bija, like I said, the bija mantras, how that important it is to activating your chakras, your energy centers, your meridians, your exiotonal alignments, right? Those are the vertical channels, vertical lines, the Shushumna, the central channel, right? That's been broken. Those guys ended up in electrostatic bodies, the fallen tree of life, the black goo, and so on, right? So that all needs to be repaired as well. Let me see, because of all the violence, they had all this, through all this violence and torture in the military, right? So this is all this, like I said, those reversals, right? That needs to be corrected, right? Last time we talked about the exiotonal alignment, working with the color spectrum, with chakras in each finger, right? What it represents, which dimension, which chakra, which sphere of consciousness, right? Clockwise, counterclockwise, male and female, right? Start building your light body, start resurrecting your light body, right? How that important it is. And, you know, I walk with Christ. I mean, Christ had to come and resurrect my body with this new hyperspace hologram, because I was extremely damaged, okay, from all these psyops, or the men in black, and, you know, the black goo, and all this poison, and all this torture, and SRA. So I experienced all these horrible things. That's why I talk about it. You know, it's very serious, it's very real, and this is kind of way I was able to kind of, well, heal, like resurrect. That's why I'm still walking, talking, right? Very important. And so this is what I'm supposed to be teaching and talking about, okay? And so this is the embodied 3D fallen tree. So these guys, they have to heal from these fallen tree of life, right? From all these, because they became dark avatars, their body became dark portals for those negative aliens, right, to get in, and pretty much doing all these horrible things. But physically it looks like, oh, the Mossad is doing it, the elite is doing it, the Marines are doing it, or the super soldiers of the negative faction are doing all that. you know, but if you don't understand there is a entity possession, right? They are hooked to the internet of all things, right? The intercorporeal wireless network with all these signals, signaling 5G, 6G, 7G, satellites, right? False magnetism on the moon, right? So, you know, this is very complex. This is a very advanced, I mean, this is, this is just way up there, okay? And we talk about the red trident, right? The what is it, anti-HIEROS GAMOS technology, like for our star seeds, we want to reconnect with our other planets, right, with the entire cosmos, the galactic core, and how come we were constantly attacked, what's going on, and all these electronic harassments, not only coming from this plane of existence, but from this entire galaxy. And now we pretty much know who's been doing it, how it was done, established, right? And we are reporting everything to Andromeda via the galactic core, because we have these cosmic portals. You know, everything's been set in those extremely high places and dimensions. And of course, we have all this recoding of our chakras of those dimensions right now, up to 6D recoding, right? That's your third eye or third eye atlas. That's your sixth chakra, the indigo warrior. So we can finally breathe and move on. And here kind of helping, right? And establishing the project, working on the project, and you know, make this or creating this new earth, right? So this new paradigm. Okay, so these energies are here, and so the cosmic monad exists as the first cause of sound that further generates a resonating tone principle for the theme of our entire universal time matrix. The first primal sound tone in the blue flame. So the blue flame, that's from the Emerald Order, right? And those blue flame Melchizedek lineages with the law of structure, we're coming back online here in the female body, the Sophianic lineages, right? To finally end the cycle of that tyranny, the false king of tyranny, you know, just end the cycle of this, like I said, transhumanism, transgenderism, end the cycle of this proxy wars with proxy Israel, also on the galactic level, right? The galactic trafficking and child sex trafficking and so on, that all needs to stop, right? We being the sacred sound of creation, okay? So that's why the energy work is so much more important for us. I mean, this is what we do, so then we can finally do the physical work here on this physical plane. Remember, we are sound, light, frequency, vibration. We're spiritual beings having human experience, okay? We're 99.9% energy. And so the cosmic monad projects itself into gender principle, right? So, you know, here physically, right, we represent one gender, but energetically there is always two energies, right? The masculine, we talk about the masculine and the feminine, right? You have the right side of the body, left side of the body. Here it changes, right? This is now feminine and masculine, right? So understanding really the mechanics of ascension, the mechanics of consciousness, the solar rishi knowledge, the yoga knowledge is so important for healing, especially my soul group, right? Starseeds in those black ops, infiltrated by those negative aliens, right? So, and the gender principle is the Holy Mother, Holy Father, as conscious sound and conscious light, expanding and contracting the sound fields to become light fields and cycling back the light fields to become the sound fields continuously. This dynamic perpetually transmutes the light fields back into the sound fields in all of the densities everlastingly, in order to serve as the perpetual motion for the ongoing evolution of the individuated consciousness traveling in the universal time matrix, right? So with the sound field activated from cosmos, right? I mean, if you represent the universal time matrix, this is how we're healing ourselves on these densities, each station of identity, right? Because we're sound, light, frequency, vibration, everything vibrates, everything is in motion, right? And so being inner sustained, inner directed, right? The self-mastery, self-realization, how that important it is, right? Bring, you know, when we can bring these cosmic energies here for humanity to heal, or here for my soul group, you know, the ashram for Marines, all right? And so they can finally feel their true essence. They can embark on their soul journey of, you know, soul awakening, healing, of transformation, and start channeling their kundalini energy, right? From that sodomy, from that blood sacrifice, all this soul binding, all this witchcrafting, and how they were hacking into their DNA, into their mind, right? They need to start channeling their energy so they can free themselves from those alien implants, holographic inserts, running all these reversals, heal from that AI infections, and so on, from that MK Ultra, from that mind control, right? Being stuck in extremely low frequency, 1D, 2D, 3D, right? The fear-based consciousness, okay? Being that fallen tree of life, right? So that's why we're working with the sound band healing, listening to solfeggio tones, healing music, how that negative energies, those stuck energies, especially those negative emotions, right, can be slowly and surely released, okay, or integrated back into light. You know, we are being mindful, right, grateful, thankful through breath work. Because why those guys are being broken in the military? Because all these fragmentations, right, they are hooked to those negative aliens, their AI, and that's how those guys are being controlled and manipulated, right? And it just becomes slaves. We talk about the astral slavery, or the consciousness trap. We talk about the sex misery, right? And all these sex games in the military. What in the world, right? It's done via AI, air wave frequency, via signals, right? And those guys are nothing but portals. You know, their body becomes, you know, dark portals for those negative entities to wreak havoc. And then, you know, people need names, and you want physical proof, and really not understanding that, you know, we've been possessed, invaded by extremely rogue and vicious but highly advanced negative aliens. So that's important. That's why the Galactic Codex, that's why, you know, well, bringing the Solar Rishi here teachings, but that's why, you know, the Pleiadians are coming, right? Or the Atlas, you know, the other some other ships and spacecraft, they're here. And so important, the ET disclosure, how important it is, you know, and implementing the Galactic Codex, because you know, we have to heal from that alien invasion, alien hybridization, from all that MK Ultra with AI that doesn't even belong to this universe. So all human beings are exceptionally receptive and inclined to reverberate with resonating sound tones, which can be used for positive or negative purposes. The Nazi in the occultism, right? The whole Gestapo, the hybrid Anunnaki, the fallen angelics, right? And working with the Orion group, the Chimera group, that's from the Wisa, the Burga system, right? They know how to entrap us here, okay? And how to just create slaves out of us, and robots, automatons, right? That's why for them, just the AI that is disconnected from God, from source, right? Because being atheists and so on, and not having empathy, and even disconnected from their Veda system, right? They're in a totally different psychology, or psychopathy, you can say that. They don't even realize what they've caused, and you know, and you know, the consequences of all that. And somebody here, we have to come, right, on a Christos mission, fulfill the Palestinian covenant. We need to bring those souls back home to their spiritual home, to their center, spiritual center, right? And here, you know, yeah, the ashram, the yoga center, the ashram for Marines, right? Because this needs to be corrected, because we have the right for ascension, to be free, to be happy, right? We're also resurrecting or bringing the Constitution of 1706, right? The America is, you know, the American Republic, and so on, right? The freedom, I mean, the Saint Germain, the violet flame, this the original blueprint even of America, right? Is self-expression, expressing yourself with loving kindness, right? And just kind of feeling the energies, right? Energies of source. So that's why there was nature under God, right? So how important to bring these energies, God's energy back online, and using these energies for positive purposes, constructive purposes, not destructive purposes, like those negative aliens. And the stars, I mean, the starseeds, the military, the guys, the Marines, they were nothing but pawns of those negative aliens, executing all that. right? Some of them, they don't even know what really happened to them, right? Sleeping cells and their program MK Ultra, and they don't even know what is happening to them, right? And this whole CRISPR technology or MindSline technology, I mean, this is how complex that is, okay? So when we can utilize sound waves such as harmonious music, words, or tones that feel positively resonant in the cells of our body, we automatically increase our spiritual strength and physical immunity. When developing higher senses to discern the energetic signature behind words or language when it is being used, right? So here, I understand people are into words, and it's of course important, and it's beautiful when people have beautiful like language, right? Beautiful English and so on. I tune into the frequency vibration of that individual. I tune into the sound field behind the words, where I can detect whether it resonates with me, whether it's pure, whether there is whether it's a cognizance or mental dissonance, if there is resonance, right? So we work with the sound. So that's why we were so electronically harassed. And the cabal, they don't want us, the cabal, the negative aliens, the archons, they don't want us here, because we detect them. We know where they are, who they are, where they're hiding, their cloaking or cloning technology and so on, right? But through the sound field, we're detecting them, right? But there's a lot of sacrifice, a lots of pain, and lots of like I said, suffering that it entails. But anyway, so we identify, we see the energy signature behind words or language when it's being used. It becomes easier to identify negative vibrating words, right? Or positive vibrating words, positive, negative. So it's understand the physical. Sometimes very important to look even physically correct or physically positive, like physically clean, right? But again, now with the ascension and the bifurcation and all these changes that are happening and awakening and shift in consciousness, it's all about going to be frequency, vibration, and the sound, okay? So when we first identify that we are being exposed to a negative statement or words in which we can feel intentional harm, right? That's why all these things also in the military was done without informed consent. Those guys were experimented upon, and all this harm, and there was never time for meditation, for really expressing their truth. They were not allowed to. Oh, you have to just follow the orders, right? Don't argue, right? And all this stuff, like to be a Marine. I know how the programming is, and how to be a Marine, right? I had the hologram. I had the experience what those guys had to go through, their so-called initiation, and how all these experimentations, and then the cause, right? The effect of all these experimentations, how that manifests in their aura energy field, in their mental state, emotional state, right? Those negative emotions and so on, okay? So that's why they need lots of healing, lots of rehabilitation, lots of what's the word for it, like balancing energies, right? And like I said, we're the sound, right? And healing chamber and tachyon chamber, and also the Ecturian crystalline energies, crystalline technology. So in order to really the reprogram, right? Reprogram, the deprogramming needs to happen, and reprogram their subconscious mind, unconscious mind. So that's why I also talk about, right, the ASATOMA, SAT GAMAYA, TAMASO, JYOTIR GAMAYA, MRITYOR, AMRITAM GAMAYA, how the Sanskrit language just simply, it just cuts through. That's my direct experience. I know that. Or just Om Namah Shivaya, I was chanting during the supermoon, like the supermoon right now, right, that happened a couple of days ago. And also Ave Maria, Rosa, Mystica, Ora Pro Nobis, right? They are using Latin. I think they think because that's the language of the dead, right? The whole death cult, death culture, and so all these reversals and so on, right? So, but not understanding that's actually, those are very powerful words, and also very powerful words of that Hebrew alphabet, and also powerful words of that Aramaic language, right? Abun, Abun, the Bashmaya, Nitka, the Shamok. So like I said, the Nazis, they understood the sound, they understand the light language, they understand the power of the words, of the spoken words, but unfortunately they just reverse it, so the ascension so-called is not happening, right? So they can control the entire matrix or the entire galaxy, right? So this is all, these energies are being arrested, and it's, you know, we have a project for them to rehabilitate, and we're ending the cycle, right, of this, like I said, transhumanism, transgenderism here, you know, of this, they just cause total cataclysm. And but like I said, energy is energy. We work with the sound. So, you know, here we're the project, and you know, we are, like I said, conscious co-creators with the divine, creating the new earth again through this cosmic energies that is coming back online, the plasma light frequency, photonic light, right, cosmic rays, the rays of creation, right? So working with colors, with sound, working with light, how that important is this, how you can heal yourself and bring your true divine essence back online via, again, you know, activating your etheric DNA, right, your divine blueprint. So this is all possible via inner alchemy, transformation, healing, and the consciousness of expansion is happening, right? So you know that we are now walking through portals, right? Because the cosmic portals been established. So everything is possible through God, okay? God is God. And love conquers all. But also me, also being educated how important it is, and aligning with the universal laws, the law of one, right? How important it is to really know yourself, understand where you come from, you know, your lineage, your origination, okay? Not only on that physical plane, on that visible plane, but also invisible. And these energies are here. It's all about tuning in and having those powerful cosmic downloads. So, like I said, so we are being exposed to negative statement words in which we can feel intentional harm or deception in the energy signature. We can immediately reprogram the negative statement, right? So here we can always step back, right? Just take a pause, take a deep breath, right? You analyze whatever is coming, all these signals from the outside, right? Frequency following response. You have to be very careful, right? The mirror neurons, that's why the 12D shielding, that's why being in a present moment, being able to pause, to detach. I'm in this world but not of it. I'm walking with Christ, devotion, dedication, divine, to Holy Mother, right? And all these interesting kind of thoughts or energies, holograms that are being bombarded from those negative aliens, right? That can be transformed, transmuted, right? You can bring it into pause, no thank you, and you can relabel it, right? You can rename it, or reattribute it, and so on. And of course, always ask for help. The help is here, right? And especially from solar rishis, now from Andromeda, from the galactic core. Now, you know, the Ashtar galactic command, and, you know, like I said, we had the third eye or 3-eye atlas coming, and, you know, the swan and the lemon, right? All these spaceships, spacecraft, the motherships, I mean, you know, they are aligning the entire cosmos. Right, and we are releasing ourselves from that beast machine and from those black hole entities, because they wanted to pull the entire earth into a black hole, right? That's why the earth was tilted to the Abaddon, the Nordics, the Abaddon. This is what, you know, the supremacist kind of, the, you know, supremacy and so on, right? So that kind of concept, that kind of programming is even dismantling for them, because, you know, they need to also return to their original divine blueprint, whether they're avians, they're a seraphim, they're, you know, of that, what is it, well, true Nibiru, I mean, they're of the Anunnaki, right? Of positive faction, or Nazi of positive faction, right? It doesn't mean if you're a reptilian or Draco that you immediately have to be negative. No, there are lots of also draconian or dragons, right? They're of extremely positive nature, and we are overriding, you know, the agenda of those negative aliens, including the black dragon moth, right? And like I said, from the Black Dragon Collective, right? Coming from that Wisa system, Burga system, Wisa deck, Wisa drag, that's another phantom fallen matrix, okay? So anyway, guys, I think we end here. I know this can be very well, complex, but again, I am dealing with DARPA. I am dealing you know, this you know, with military. It's all about ET and their you know, their advanced technology, and you know, we just kind of help them know, oh, the spiritual deliverance, how that important these guys, you know, become, again, the cosmic galactic warriors. My soul group, right? They are supposed to be spiritual warriors or ascended masters or Pleiadians or Rosicrucians. They come from the Melchizedek order or Soul of Christ Archangel Michael, and they are Satanists. Okay, and they are turned into digital avatars. I mean, they probably, you know, I don't know, torturing children, pedophilia, child sex trafficking, being involved in horrible crimes, right? So all this terrorism and so on, all this tyranny. So, you know, it's very extreme. It's very extreme when you're a highly advanced soul and you're turned into black magician instead of being the cosmic Christos avatar, the Essene Templars. Okay, so it's like I said, it's very complex. And so explanation is very important, love and compassion. And that's why, you know, we have to do our diligence. We have to be responsible, raising our frequency vibration, so we finally have the ET disclosure, right? And we can meet our galactic family, star family, how important it is, and bring this new structure of the new earth here online, right? And have that peace that passes all understanding. So first, if you understand, the peace needs to start from within with us, and then it reverberates, right, through sound. Remember the correct sound field, right? Listening to solfeggio tones, 432 hertz, it can then reverberate, and that's how we make a change, make a difference, right? Be the change you want to see in the world, and so on. And just to be the cosmic Christos avatar, or at least we are bringing the blueprint here for everybody, for humanity, and for my soul group, so we can start finally feeling our true divine essence, right? And live in peace, harmony, unity, joy, freedom, right? The Christos Sophia consciousness. So many blessings. Namaste. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.